Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline. It's Sunday here, and I just got done with work. I did some workout this morning, and then I decided I was going to cram all my clients together, and I did about six, seven clients back to back. And anyway, so I am now back home with my cup of tea, which is a godsend. My Yorkshire Gold English breakfast tea. I swear I could drink it all day long, every day. It just does it for me. I swear it gives me a high. There's something in it, I swear. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about multiple things. It's gonna be a little like I'm gonna bounce all over the place. I do that anyway, but if you can catch onto the train of thought, we'll see. So, some things that I'm excited about in my life right now. There's a few things. So excited about the new Dune coming out on Thursday. I'll be seeing, well, it's Friday, but I'll be seeing the early showing here in IMAX on Thursday, and I'm so excited about this film. I haven't been excited about a film in a long time. I dislike superhero movies because of how stupid they are. But I think superhero movies initially started with like actual like content. Like it came from like comic book content and it was like, it had some depth to it. There was some depth to it. But as it went on, it became this formula, this thing, there's no weight to it. It's become dismissible now because characters can die and just come right back. You have the multiverse, you have whatever. It's basically, to me, that's what film has become, and it's kind of become. It's mindless entertainment, and I think film needs more mind to it, and that's what Dune represents. Dune represents a large scale film, a massive film, and with this book and this world that's intricate in depth, and there's true weight. When someone dies, they're dead. Like that's it. They can come back maybe as a mentat, but in that world, it's very interesting. And of course, then you have the illusion that it's a white savior story, which it's not, because in the second book of Dune, you actually come to find out that once you have infinite power, um, does it make you happy? And I think Dune is actually a very complex story of how it's the simple things in life that make you happy, not the overly complex, which is kind of a simple story. It really is kind of a simple story, but it's this rich world, and you go through all of this stuff to come to the conclusion that having all power actually means nothing. So, anyway, I find Dune to be an incredibly important film to see in theaters, to show like studios and the film industry that the human race is not as dumb as it appears. Let's hope, because I'm bitter, but I hope that there is an audience that wants to feel intelligent when they watch something, authentically feel like their mind is being expanded. So I'm incredibly excited for Dune. I am over the moon about it. I even got the sketchbook vinyl, which is an extended version of the vinyl that Hans Zimmer came out with. I actually got into this. It was like a 6 minutes, and 3,000 copies had sold out of this vinyl, and I actually got it the moment it went up, and I was really excited. This is some nerdy stuff right here. So, incredibly excited about everything Dune. Everything Dune. In my life right now, I've exercise is a big deal. I have a second gym membership now. I'm working out 6 to 7 days a week. I'm trying to force myself to take a day off because I actually overexerted myself fitness wise. Didn't hurt myself, but I actually got sick. So I am making myself take a day off once a week, relax, and just veg out and be lazy. So, sorry, I'm actually pretty tired. That is what's happening in my fitness world, which a lot of people ask me, what products do you use? What do you use as far as for my skin and whatnot? And I do use some things. I use Elastin products. I use their moisturizer, and I also use their retinol. And I also work at a place that I've had chemical peels and laser and stuff like that done. But I haven't had anything done in about 6, 7 months on my face. And so it's the good products I use. I use a good retinol. I moisturize right before, then I use the retinol and I go to sleep with it. And so there's certain things I do. However, I cannot express enough the importance of not eating processed food, especially if you are wanting to have a very clean result with your transition. And I will say, the very first time I started transitioning, there was a girl that I knew, and she'd actually fallen into a really bad place. It was a trans girl in Los Angeles, And one of my friends, they kept telling me, they're like, when we first met her, she was so beautiful. You have no idea. Like, she was just, every guy wanted to be with her. She was just so beautiful. And she fell into drugs and hard times. And I remember she was outside of a bar or something, and she's looking at me up and down, and I just begun my transition. I mean, a little ball of curl hair and everything. And she looked me up and down and said, if you want to succeed in your transition and look like really good, like good skin, and have the hormones work to their best, and your hair, she was like, don't eat junk, don't eat processed food, don't do drugs. Like, these were things she said to me. And looking at her, I was like, you know what? I mean, that is such sound advice. And 15 years later, now I can look back and say to myself, I'm like, you know what? That is completely true. Everything she said was so vital to transitioning. So, even the place that I work at, we do all these treatments, we do this stuff to help people look better and feel better and whatnot. But they look at me now after like the past 7 months of really eating clean, and I'm talking clean. Like, my diet is, for breakfast I do powdered rice that I cook on the stove and do like a porridge. It's like a cheesecake texture, and actually it's just white rice powdered, and I actually add in protein powder into it, and that's like kind of like my early breakfast pre-workout. And I do coffee, and then for lunch I'll do like rice, a poultry of some kind, and I'll do vegetables, and I weigh it out. Currently I'm doing like 100 to 130 grams of um, carbohydrates per meal. And I'm doing 4 ounces of protein, and then I add in a lot of vegetables depending on what I'm having if I want it. And then for dinner, and I do the same thing. That's like all day long. And for dessert, I actually do a Greek yogurt mixed with like an oat mix. It's actually the Alpine cereal. Alpine. I thought it was Aspen, but it's actually Alpine. And I do the sugar-free one, so it's like really minimal because I cut sugar completely out of my diet. And this right here is honestly my diet, and what I've been doing with no processed food is the secret to my skin looking the way it does and my hair looking the way it does. Because most people that I know, and the reason I'm dating younger, evidently, is they're all like, you don't look like you're 37, almost 40. Like, you don't look like that. And I'm like, it is the products. The products help. These products that I use, and some of the treatments I've had 6, 7 months ago. However, I will say the biggest key is my diet. The diet does wonders. Eating processed food will destroy your skin. And I honestly think, like, in the United States, they even said, like, with the morbidly obese population in the US, the incredible health crisis with being overweight in the US, most people are actually malnourished. They have malnutrition because there's no nutrients in the food. It's all processed. It's all blue drinks and shit like that, and no one drinks water. And when they get food, it's all processed. It's all out of a box or a can or whatever. And so um yeah, it's just one of those things where eating very clean will do wonders for your body. Your body will respond, especially if you're on hormones and you're transitioning and all of that. As far as dating life, like I said, I'm bouncing around in this video. As far as dating life goes, the couple, I'm not 100% sure what's going on. Evidently, I took them on the date. I think I mentioned this in my last video. And they're having issues between each other. So it's kind of odd because the girlfriend she'd leave him in a heartbeat if I said something. And I hung out with him Friday, this past like 2 days ago, and casual flirting. His best friend asked me out a couple of days. It was like Wednesday last week, and he actually showed up when we were playing pool on Friday. And he's trying really hard, so I agreed to a dinner date with this guy. He's very good looking, so I have a dinner date next week with this person. Evidently, I'm a hot commodity right now. I don't know what's happened, but the dating apps, I'm getting these pretty good looking guys trying to talk, and I can just sniff out a coward a mile away. Like, there was the medical dude a couple months ago. He actually kept texting me late at night and was like, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you into any fun?" And I'm like, "I'm not some experiment for you. I am almost 40. Like, yes, I'm trans. Yes, a lot of trans girls really would. Most women would sleep with that guy in a heartbeat. They'd be all over it." And I'm like, I'm getting too old to just be sleeping around. It's just not my thing. It hasn't been my thing for most of my life. So anyway, I have a date next week, and that's about all in that department. And what else is happening in my life other than that? Work's pretty good. I've been enjoying Squid Games. Squid Games is crazy. I will say I was incredibly emotionally moved by an episode in Squid Games. It's the marbles episode. I was incredibly, for those who have seen it, I was so emotionally shook after that episode. I don't think I've ever been that emotionally shook. Maybe the Red Wedding of Game of Thrones. I think there was, which I knew was going to happen because I read the book before, but it still was shocking. Um, but I think it actually, the Squid Games episode, it emotionally affected me in a way that was pretty profound. And there's a reason why it's people are watching it. I guess is because it's so meaningful. And I also think it represents our society with capitalism and just how what people will go to be rich. Like the extent that they will murder people, they will kill people, they will justify it in any way possible. Meanwhile, the rich keep people poor for their entertainment or to stay rich. So I find Squid Games to be quite a profound cultural experience as of right now because we don't have a worker crisis. We have a wage crisis. We have a healthcare crisis. We have so many things that are being exposed in the United States. I mean, the whole world is pretty much a capitalistic world at this point for the most part. The United States is just with its military industrial complex that is so absurd and everything it's doing. It's just, I think shows like Squid Games really do expose a lot in a television way, like in a fictional sort of way. Anyway, you can call it, I guess you can say it's almost nonfiction. It's just they changed it slightly, variation of the story. Anywho, other than that, things are pretty good in my life. Work's been great. Everything's been pretty good. So I just thought I'd give everyone a little update. I had some more work done on my tattoo on my back. And what else is there? I don't think there's really anything else going on in my life. I thought it would just be nice to do a little update, do a little chat, and go through some things. And that's about it. Really, I have nothing else to chat about. I hope everyone's well. I'm gonna let you go. Bye.